All right, welcome everyone. We're going to get started. It is 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I just want to thank you for being here. I'm very excited to share these 7 strategies with you, and these are just simple strategies that you can apply into your business right away, and you'll start seeing results, and you'll start getting more paying clients in your door. So let's jump in. First of all, I want to make sure that you are in a place where you can be distraction free. You know, if you're in your office, maybe shut the door, turn off your phone, or put it on do not disturb. But just, it's really important to take some time and just focus your attention on this webinar, and, you know, shut down other screens on your computer or your laptop, because it's very tempting to bump back and forth between screens and check in on your Twitter and your Facebook. And, you know, I'm guilty of it. And as soon as you start doing it, you lose focus
and what we're talking about. And these 7 strategies are really important, and they're pretty easy and actionable for you guys. So go ahead and turn off your extra distractions. Feel free to submit questions as we go along in the chat box below the video. I'll be checking in on those periodically. And also, if you haven't already grabbed your webinar workbook, be sure to print that out. I made it so that you can follow along and take notes as we go. And it's just a fun little worksheet that you can take notes on. And it also helps keep you focused on this webinar and distraction free. So I did put that in the chat box below. I did put the link in case you didn't catch that in the email that I sent out. So go ahead and grab that. And I'm just going to pop over here really quick and see if anyone has popped in. Okay. So a little bit about who am I? Well, you probably know by now my name is Amy Zellmer, and I am the owner of My Creative Biz Coach. But I started out as a professional photographer back in 1997. I started my business back in the day when simply having an ad in the phone book, not even an ad, just a listing for my business in the phone book. And I had my branded logo, what do you call those magnets that you put on your car doors? I had those on my car. I had a red Jeep Wrangler, and then I had red text, and my logo was red. It just had my website and my phone number. And if you remember back to 1997, websites were pretty primitive. So it was a really, really basic website. People were barely using email. It wasn't super common yet. Most people still had dial-up modems. And I remember literally typing in a website, and then I could go in the other room and do some dishes and come back, and it would finally be loading. So 1997 was a whole different world when it came to the internet and attracting clients that way. So it was very different. I stayed very busy shooting about 40 to 50 weddings a year, all just from a simple line in the phone book and having the magnets on my door, and my clients referred their friends and family to me. So I stayed quite busy doing that. But as you know, now in 2016, it's a whole different world. We rely very heavily on the internet, and phone books barely exist anymore. So it's a whole different world. About 2006, I began mentoring other photographers and working with them one-on-one to help them with their businesses. And I began speaking to groups of photographers at conventions and conferences. And I quickly began to realize that what I was teaching them applied really to any business. Because marketing is marketing. Once you have the foundation and the basics, you can apply it in any business. Whether you're a hairdresser or a yoga instructor, or a chiropractor's office, whatever it is that you do, marketing is marketing. And these strategies and principles apply across the board. So in about 2009, I changed the name of my business from My Photo Biz Coach to My Creative Biz Coach. And I've been working with creative entrepreneurs and solopreneurs since about 2009. And I really enjoy working one-on-one with other creatives and solopreneurs and just really helping them take their marketing and their business to the next level. Because sometimes all it takes is that aha moment and the light bulb goes on. And it's really cool to watch when that happens. All right, so let's get to the really important stuff. Who wants to win prizes? As you probably already know, I'm going to be giving away one of my 90-day marketing makeover bootcamp sessions. So you guys will want to stick around to the very end. You have to be present to win. And if you want opportunities to win, you can post comments or questions in the chat box. And also you can tweet any little insights, golden nuggets that you're learning as we go. Tweet those on Twitter and be sure to use @AmyZellmer in that tweet. And I'll be checking the comments and the tweets at the end. And that's how I'm gonna find our winner. So be sure that you are commenting, asking questions, and tweeting some aha moments as we go. Okay, so our agenda for today is we're going to start out with jumpstart your marketing efforts. And then we're going to dive into the 7 simple marketing strategies. And then, of course, we're going to have our giveaway at the end. So be sure to stick around. All right, so let's dive in to jumpstart your marketing efforts. So the first thing, you have to have a plan. You have to have a 12-month marketing plan. It's important to be marketing all year round, not just when you're slow. This is a really common misconception that I hear. I don't even know if it's a misconception. I think it's just a misalignment of how we work. I hear all the time from clients who come to me because they were so incredibly busy. They were up to their eyeballs in clients. And so marketing just kind of took a back burner. You know, they were busy. The phone was ringing. People were coming in the door. People were flocking to them and giving them money hand over fist. So they didn't think marketing was important at that time. But then what happens when those clients are done and no longer need your services? Now you have gone for weeks or months without marketing, and it's the trickle-down effect. So now all of a sudden, the emails aren't coming in, the phone isn't ringing, people are not coming in the door. And it takes 10 times as much effort to catch back up in that cycle than it does to just get your foundation in place and continue marketing every single day, every single week, every single month. And you need to start with a marketing budget. You need to know your sales goals for the year, and then you need a marketing budget of 5 to 20%. So just for really easy math, let's say you want to make $100,000 this year. That means you need a marketing budget of $5,000 to $20,000. And it really depends how established you are. If you're already very established and you already have lots of people coming to you and your name is very well recognized, you might only need a 5% budget. But if you're brand new, you're just starting out, you might need that higher budget. And I know that that can be really scary and a little bit frightening when you don't have cash flow coming in. However, you know, some of the things we'll talk about today are very inexpensive or even free to implement. But you do need to invest in your business. If you don't put money into marketing, you're going to see that you don't have that money coming back into you. And then thirdly, you need to define your target audience. If you are marketing to everyone, then you're marketing to no one. You know, if you're just haphazardly putting out marketing things and you're really not specifically targeting who you want, like for instance, me, I'm trying to target creative solopreneurs. People who are more of a one-man shop, or they might have 1 or 2 people that work for them, or they might have some virtual assistant help, but mainly they're kind of doing it all on their own. That's who my target market is. Your target market might be completely different, but you need to know who your target audience is. You really need to define that. And that's something that I can help you with in a one-on-one session if you need help with that. But you really need to define your target audience. And you have to have a professional look. You have the blink of an eye to make a first impression. And that's it. People literally make their decision on you based on a picture. Your profile picture, your picture on your website, the picture on your business card or your marketing pieces that you're sending out. You need to have a professional look. And, you know, I'm a little biased because I am a professional photographer, but I stand behind this statement. These are 2 examples of before and afters. You can see this first picture of this gentleman. He's standing in front of like a wall and a bookcase. And then here, I accidentally got some text in here. I apologize, but you know, it's professional lighting. It's a professional background. It's not distracting. It's a flattering angle on his face. And again with this gal, you can tell she literally cropped herself out of a picture that she had taken. She was with some friends at a holiday party, and she just cropped her face out of there, and you can tell it's not a flattering picture. And then here on the right is her professional photo that I took of her. And it really makes a really huge difference. And I have seen some professional photos out there that still don't look good. So really do your research before you invest. It's important to have a professional image and a professional look, and do your homework. You know, I'd rather see you spend the money up front and get a quality picture than you know, having to redo it and spend twice as much as if you'd have just done it right the first time. But it's really important, a professional look. You know, you might see some other people out there that have a whole series of images that they use. So they have different pictures of themselves and their branding. And it's just really critical to have your image on all your pages so that people know that they're following the right person, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, your website, whatever it is. So it's really important. Okay, so let's jump into the 7 marketing strategies. I'm just going to hop over here really quick. Bear with me. And I'm just going to check in here really quick. All right. Oh, Linda. Thanks, Linda. All right, so we've got Linda listening in. And Diana. Oh, hey, Diana. Thanks for joining us. I need to resort my stuff here so it's newest on top. There we go. Okay, so let's jump into these 7 simple marketing strategies. And if you didn't realize, we're on page 2 of your workbook, so go ahead and change the page. The first one is email marketing. Now, email marketing is relatively free or inexpensive. And I personally have been using Constant Contact for many, 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 many years. I started collecting emails way, way, way back in the day. So I kind of have a leg up in that regard, that I have been collecting emails since I started out in '97. And granted, not everyone had an email back then, but if they did, I was collecting them. And so I started using Constant Contact, gosh, I don't even know when. I mean, probably whenever it first came out. And there's also others like MailChimp, I know is extremely popular, and there's also Mad Mimi. But whatever it is that you're using, you know, just get one, get a system, start gathering your client emails. And every client that comes in my door, they have to fill out a contract. And on that contract is their email address. And I do most of my communication nowadays, I'd say probably 80 to 90% is done through email. And then also collect at events and expos. I used to do a lot of events like bridal shows, women's expos, and now I don't do as many of those, but I do still occasionally do some sort of expo. And I always have like a giveaway and a drawing, and I have a form that they fill out. They're giving me their information, and they're giving me their email. And then I also have little check boxes like, please contact me regarding such and such. And then if they check that box, I know that I should be following up with them very shortly after that expo. I also collect emails at my networking events. I'm always getting business cards, interacting with other people. Make sure you're giving out your business card as well, and make sure your email is on your business card. And then you should be emailing regularly, at least 2 to 3 times per month. And this might seem totally overwhelming to you, but it's extremely effective. You know, email is not intrusive. They can choose whether or not to open that email. They can choose whether or not to continue reading that email, if they want to reply to that email, if they want to click on whatever links you might have. You know, it's all up to them and at their own time. And I've heard that people have, that email has a 2 to 3 day window, whereas, you know, posting something on social media only has a 2 to 3 hour window. So you have a bigger window with email. Like I said, people open it at their leisure. They can decide if they want to read it or not. And then it's important to give them content to read. You know, don't just simply send an email. You want to give them something to read, something that's going to engage them and that's going to encourage them to click through a link to get more information from you. So maybe you're taking your blog posts and copying them into an email or a portion of it into an email. Maybe you're sending out some industry tips. You know, maybe you're a hairstylist. So maybe you're sending out some trends for the upcoming spring, the looks that are going to be popular. Maybe that's what you're sending out. Maybe you're sending out some accomplishments. Maybe you won an award or had some advanced training. Whatever it is, send it out there. And also remember to sort your lists. I have my lists sorted by all different types of clients. I have my lists for my coaching clients as well as my photography clients. And within photography, I have, you know, if they're a boudoir client, a portrait client, a family client. So I have them sorted into lists. I can decide who I want to send that email to. I can be very laser focused if I want. Number 2, content marketing. Content marketing is when you are giving them something free in exchange for their email address. So this would include an opt-in form on your website, your blog, or social media site. It has automated delivery of the content. So as soon as they sign up for it, it might be a free PDF or a free video. And when you signed up for this webinar, that's an example of content marketing. It has an autoresponder series of emails. You can do a drip campaign. If you have participated in my 7-day marketing challenge, that's an example of a drip campaign where you're getting an email every day for 7 days. And then you can also create a tribe for your people on Facebook, which when I say tribe, I mean a group. You can create a group on Facebook where your tribe can hang out. And here's an example. In this picture, you can see on my website, this is on my blog, get your free toolkit sign up. They enter their name and email, and then I email them the 3 Simple Strategies toolkit. So that's an example of content marketing. This is probably the most effective form of marketing right now. And if you're not doing it, it's really important that you start doing it. And it is time consuming and cumbersome to get it set up, but once it's in place, it's fully automated. And if it's an evergreen product, you don't even have to worry about updating it for months or years. So this is, again, something that I can help you with if it's something that you're struggling with, but it's very, very important. And it's probably the most effective form of marketing right now. You probably see it all the time if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn. You probably see examples of it every single place that you're looking. Oh, hi, Linda. Linda and Diana, thanks for being here. And I'm going to pop back over to Twitter here really quick. All right. So let's move on to the next one, number 3, social media. And I know a lot of people get very overwhelmed with social media. They say they don't have time for it. But the thing is, you have to make time for it. Social media is where people are at. There is something like 300 million active users on Facebook, and they're checking their Facebook 3 to 5 times a day. So what did I tell you? That's where the people are at. It's so important to be on Facebook, to have a personal page as well as a business page. And like I said, get those groups started. Get like-minded people into groups and start conversations and get them interested in you and what you do. You can do boosted posts and paid ads. And when you're doing boosted and paid ads, obviously you're giving Facebook money. But I have found I can spend $20 a day on a paid ad, and I get a lot of return on investment for that. So I really encourage you to play with these boosted and paid ads. And Facebook has algorithms on your business pages. Not everybody who likes your page automatically sees your posts. So if you boost a post for $5, more people are going to see your post, and you know that they're already engaged with you and interested in you. So it's really kind of a win-win, no-brainer way to invest a little bit of money in your marketing. Twitter and Instagram, these are where the younger generation are at. You know, high school seniors are very active on Twitter, and the 20-somethings are on Instagram. So know where your audience is. If you know where your audience is, you'll know which of these platforms you should be more active on. LinkedIn is where there's more business professionals, so that's where I tend to promote my business portraits more. And then Google Plus, it's not quite as famous as they had hoped it would become. They were trying to take over Facebook, but they weren't quite successful with that. However, Google Plus has really high SEO ratings, so it is a good place to continue posting. So like I said, know where your audience is at. Know who that target audience is. It all comes down to that. For in-person networking, there are lots of ways to do in-person networking, and more people are not doing this. They're becoming hermits. They're staying in front of their computers. They're not leaving the house. And part of it's because they're feeling overwhelmed and behind on their work and their marketing. And I can't tell you how important it is to get out and get face-to-face. There's professional organizations out there such as the Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, Toastmasters, BNI, which stands for Business Networking International. You know, there's usually membership fees involved. And again, you know, you got to invest money in your business. Local organizations, like for me locally, I live on the West 7th part of St. Paul, and we have a West 7th Business Association. We have a Little Bohemia networking group. We have mommy groups, wedding professional groups. There's all sorts of groups that you might not even be aware of that you can be part of and get face-to-face with people. Exchange business cards. You know, they say that it takes 10 to 12 impressions of someone seeing your name before they begin to know who you are, know, like, and trust, and do business with you. In person, it brings it down to 2 to 3 times. So getting FaceTime with other people that potentially refer people to you or be your client is huge, 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 huge. Go ahead and give talks to groups or do guest blog posts. This establishes you as an expert whenever you can get in front of a group and talk about what you do. Number 5, live and virtual events. These are another really great way. So you can team up with others in your profession or your genre to grow your list and reach a greater audience. So some ways to do that would be to partner with a charity. You could do a fundraising event for the Humane Society, a food shelf, Toys for Tots, a women's shelter, pregnancy counseling, whatever falls in alignment with your target audience and your mission for your business. So just make sure that's all in alignment before you choose one. I do a lot of work with the Humane Society. I rescued my Yorkie, and I'm very passionate about animals. And so that really falls in alignment with who I am. And I can reach really great potential clients while working with the Humane Society. Give a talk to groups, like I said before, or a guest blog. This establishes you as an expert. Do a workshop or a seminar. These can be in person or virtual. So like I said, team up with others and you can all grow your list at the same time and reach a greater audience. And I'm going to skip ahead a slide really quick. The past few years, I have done a Prosper Summit. It's an online virtual event. There's over 20 educators that give a 1-hour podcast. It's specific to creative entrepreneurs. Each person, each one of these 20 people is sending it out to their list and their audience, and we're all helping to promote each other during this 5-day event. And it's really powerful when you get 20 people involved and all 20 people are helping to refer to each other. It's extremely powerful and it helps grow your reach. So I'm going to pop back again. So again, that's an example of an online or virtual summit. And another thing that could be added to this list would be podcasting as well, doing your own podcast series. Doing your podcast series really establishes you as an expert in your area, in your genre. Number 6, create raving fans. Having raving fans is so important. Raving fans want to tell everyone they know about you. So give them content. And that can go back to everything we've already talked about, doing guest blog posts. Get out on other bloggers and get on their blogs and do a guest post for them, and vice versa. Have them do a guest post for your blog, so then they're driving traffic to your site. Get on podcasts. Get interviewed on other people's podcasts. Start your own podcast. Social media sharing. I know people like to really try and back off and not put personal stuff out on Facebook. And I understand that. You don't have to tell them everything that you're doing. You don't have to talk about your family or your children. But you do need to tell them what you're doing and what you're up to, because that gives them content to rave about you and share what you're up to. Have your swagger story. This is similar to like your 30-second elevator pitch. But I call it your swagger story. If you are in front of any kind of group where you can get up and talk for a moment, I belong to a women's writing group, and we can stand up for 3 minutes and talk about what we've been up to. This is a great example of having your swagger story prepared. You're telling them really cool things that you've done. You're asking them for help, on areas that you might need help with. Like for instance, I need someone to help proofread my next article. So you're putting that out there. And if you can put this stuff out there, the more you can swagger and brag, the more you're giving your raving fans stuff to rave about. Raving fans are such a critical part of your business. If you can get raving fans, they're going to tell everybody about you because they love you, they love what you're doing, and they're going to rave. And I have had raving fans with my photography business. I've had raving fans that have raved about me for years, and I've never known who the heck the person is. And then all of a sudden one day they're ready and they call me and they come in. And it's really amazing how they have sat and watched me for that long, and they loved my work and they shared it with everyone they knew. And they knew that when they were ready, they would be coming to me for their pictures. So it's just really amazing how raving fans work. So do not underestimate that raving fan. And finally, number 7 is snail mail. I love snail mail. I mean, who doesn't love getting snail mail that isn't a bill? Snail mail is so much fun. I love to send thank you cards. I send a thank you card to every new client that's paid me money. I send thank you cards to people who referred clients to me. And if someone's referred a really, really good client to me, I might even throw in a $5 Starbucks gift card, or, I might adjust that depending on what kind of client they did send my way. So snail mail can be very powerful. It's something that not as many people are doing anymore, so that when you do it, it stands out. And if you can get custom branded thank you cards and pretty envelopes, it even says a little bit more, because, who doesn't love getting a sparkly, shiny pink envelope in the mail? It's really intriguing and you want to open it. And I handwrite everything. I do not use labels. I handwrite the addresses. And also brochures and postcards you can send out to potential leads and referral sources. Send them some information on what you do so that they have it on hand. And I know people that are very consistent with doing mailings for potential clients. Like for instance, if we go back to those live events, if you did a trade show, you might follow up with every single person who signed up and send them a follow-up brochure or mailing or postcard. It can be pretty powerful because not many people do it anymore. So when you do it, it stands out. Before a great success, there is much failure. And I just share that because I have had more than my fair share of failures. I've done lots of things that I thought were going to be brilliant, and they failed. And when you go back and look at why they failed, you can usually tell why. You didn't define that audience, or you weren't reaching them on the right platforms. Maybe you weren't doing it frequently enough. Maybe you weren't saying the right words. Maybe you weren't resonating with them. But whatever that failure is, there's a lesson to be learned. And if you can learn that lesson instead of dwelling on what you did wrong, If you can find that lesson in what your failure was, you're going to have much success because you're a step ahead of the curve. So on your workbook, the next couple questions are, which area do you need the most help? In which areas are you most eager to implement? These 7 strategies and the 2 jump starts that we talked about, these 9 things we've just discussed, I'm sure there's some things you're already doing and you're doing them very well. And then I'm sure there's some things you haven't maybe tried yet, or there's maybe things that you don't quite understand or quite know how to implement. Like the content marketing, I know a lot of people get hung up on that one because there is some work and effort involved in it before you can actually implement it. So it does take a little bit of work, but once it's implemented, and if, like I said, if it's an evergreen content, it's something that you're not going to have to do anything further with it. It's just going to sit there until you're ready to change it up. So it does take a little bit of work, but that work is definitely rewarded. So go ahead and in the comments, let me know. Oh, Diana said the video's been buffering. I don't think I'll get you back. Oh, bummer if you've had a bad internet connection. I hope that Linda, are you still hearing me? So again, which areas do you need help in and which areas are you eager to implement? Because this is how I can help you. This is where I really shine. I'm very good at helping other people laser focus in on what it is that they need to do in their business. And I'm really good at keeping people accountable and keeping them on task. I'm just going to respond to her here really quick. Hopefully we can get Diana back. Sometimes you just have to refresh the feed and that can help. Okay, so how is it that I can help you? I created my 90-day marketing makeover bootcamp. And this is very individualized. This is not like a one-size-fits-all type of thing. It's very, very individualized. It's one-on-one. It's me and you working together for 90 days. So that's 12 weeks. And over those 12 weeks, you're going to get weekly email assignments, and I'm going to check in with you, and I'm going to give you support through email through the whole 12 weeks. Every other week, we're going to talk one-on-one. We're going to have a coaching call via Skype for 1 hour, and we're going to check in. We're going to talk about how it's going, and we're going to see what it is that you need to hunker down and do next. And like I said, it's very much one-on-one, and it's customized exactly for you. And Linda just wrote me a question. Which of your programs will show us step-by-step how to create a webinar like this? It seems to have something to do with Facebook too. Actually, the chat box that I have in here that you're using, it does connect in with Facebook, but it's just a social Facebook app plugin. So I don't currently have like a step-by-step guide on how to create a webinar, but again, that's something that you and I can do one-on-one. We can create that in the marketing bootcamp, or we can you can always just purchase a breakthrough session with me. We can hunker down on something like that. So there's definitely options there. Okay, so going back to the 90-day bootcamp, like I said, it's 90 days, 12 weeks. Weekly emails and check-ins. Every other week, we have a one-on-one, 1-hour call together. And this is over $3,000 value. When you think of 3 months of one-on-one coaching and guidance and accountability, and I'm giving it to you guys for 90% off. It's only $299 or 3 payments of $125. And if you sign up today, I have a 10% discount code. It's webinar 10, and that's all capital letters, webinar 10, and that'll get you 10% off. And that is good for today. To all of our webinar listeners, even if you're listening to the replay, you can still get that special pricing today. And Diana, did you ever make it back? I feel bad that she, oh, yay! Sounds like it worked. I'm glad you're back, Diana. I hate that. Sometimes the Google Hangout, there's a little bit of a lag, and sometimes it'll just buffer weird. And if you refresh your page, it usually helps. So I'm glad that that worked for you and that you're back with us. Okay. So just, as I was kind of going through this, I'm not sure if you missed out on any of this, Diana. So it's a 90-day program. It's one-on-one. It's individualized to meet whatever it is that you want to work on. If you want to develop that content marketing strategy, if you want to develop some social media strategies, whatever it is, we'll work on exactly what it is that you need the most help with. And we'll get it done. We have 90 days to just get it done. And it's really, really awesome. Okay, so now a little bit of Q&A. If you have any questions, you can shoot those to me in the chat box or on Twitter. And then here are just some of the links that you can find me. I have a Blog Talk Radio podcast series. And I do have a couple podcasts coming up in the next few weeks. I know we're talking about Periscope and how to use Periscope. We're talking about how to rewire busy, how to integrate your personal life and your business life and just not be so dang busy all the time. So that's going to be a really fun one. And then we have another one we're talking about marketing. So I have a couple really good ones lined up in the next couple months, and there's more that I'm lining up. So always tune in to blogtalkradio.com/mycreativebizcoach, and you can see the upcoming lineup, and you can also listen to previous podcasts. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, My Creative Biz Coach, and Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at Amy Zellmer. And you can always talk to me by phone if you like. And you can also email me, which I just realized I don't have my email on here. How terrible am I? It is on your workbook, though. It's amy@mycreativebizcoach.com. So did we have any questions? I'm going to pop back over here and refresh my page. I'm going to take a minute. Okay. Oh, that's Linda's question about the webinar. And then, like I said, that's something that we could cover in the boot camp, or just a single one-on-one session. That's something that we could cover. Okay, I'm going to plug you guys in over here. I'm going to give away my prize. So give me just a minute. I'm going to go over to this, and I'm going to hit a few buttons here. Okay. And our winner is Diana Koronak from DK Effects Photography. So yay, Diana! I will, if you would mind sending me an email, amy@mycreativebizcoach, and we'll get you set up with that. Very exciting. And I thank you guys for joining, and thank you for tweeting. If you had any other little aha moments, please tweet them out on Twitter. Be sure to include me at Amy Zellmer in that tweet. I would love to see some golden nuggets flying around out there on Twitterland. And I just thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that these 7 strategies they're really powerful. And like I said, once you have this foundation put down in your business, this marketing foundation, the sales funnel keeps filling itself. And you should always, always, always be marketing. It's so critical. It's the most important part of your business. I think marketing is equally as important as the actual doing the business with whatever it is that you do. If you cut hair, it's having clients in the chair. If you're a chiropractor, it's having the patients coming in the door. If you're a life coach, it's having those clients that you're working with every week. It's just as important as that. The marketing is so critical. If you don't have clients coming to you, you don't have a business. And I'm really a marketing maven, and I'm here to help you guys. So please reach out to me if there's any way I can help you. And I look forward to working with you, Diana. That's very exciting. And thank you for listening, Linda. I'll be talking with you soon myself. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be in touch with you all soon.